Hello darlings, I'm back just for a quick update on the final countdown because the fun is about to begin. We've got 6 months ahead of us. We've got Mercury going retrograde, Venus retrograde, Mars about to go into Pisces. There'll be a conjunction with Neptune, so much happening, so we're going to have a look. And I'd like to say a very big thank you to Lavette, who spoke of me and my work, and I'm very, very grateful. So thank you so much for all coming towards me. I've set up a little bookings book because I normally do 3 to 4 readings a week, which is already quite a lot, running my home, my animals, my country house, growing my farm. But I'm delighted to work more. So what you must know is that when you go onto my site, you have a choice. You must always begin with a natal reading. That's €80. All my readings are 2 hours long, and they all end with tarot, and they all come with a short feedback, and you get my complete undivided attention, and you can either join me to record, or I can record without you, and I go through stellarium and charts, there's no bookings done on my site. As soon as I have received a payment, I then contact you by email, and I put you immediately onto the list, and I'm now at mid-July for bookings. So anybody that comes towards me now, the next bookings are at the end of the first week of July. So what else do I need to say? Yeah, PayPal at the moment has got some COVID thing going on. So about half of your payments go to, are put on wait. They are suspended until I confirm that it's a service and not a product, and then you have to confirm at your end. So if your payment is put onto wait, hold, I just send you an email and you just have to push a little button. I'm not sure what happens at your end, but so far that has been done. All my readings, PayPal takes off. I don't know how they choose or how it's done, but anything between 4 up to 10 euros is taken for tax. And I don't mind about that. I'm very, very happy to be working and to be bringing you your readings. So I think that's all I've got to say there. So here we go. We're right now the 16th, and I've got this at Paris, so it will be a little bit different in different areas. So we're coming up to the big eclipse on the 21st of June, the Midsummer Night's Dream, and I'm going to be showing you these 3 dates that we're coming up to. So we've got the moon right now in Pisces. So we're going to have an enormous amount of planets on the mutable cross between Pisces, Sagittarius. We've got Pluto, Saturn and Jupiter going retrogrades. And we've got Gemini about to go retrograde. So let's watch Gemini. Let's watch Mercury, because Mercury is about to go retrograde at home. Okay, so here is Mercury. Mercury rules Gemini, so he is at home, and he rules Virgo. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, opposite Gemini, and Jupiter rules the age that we're leaving, Pisces, opposite Virgo. And this is the Mercury-Jupiter, Michael Jackson, Mick Jagger, Skull and Bone cross. And this is really your last big chance to get through this transmutation, to push that Christos oil through your vagus nerve, which is in your neck, exactly like Las Vegas is between the North America and South America, which represents Capricorn black, South America, and Aquarius red air, North America. And that represents where we're going. We're leaving Pisces here, ruled by Jupiter, and we are coming home to the Twin Peaks, and the whole wheel will then close back into air and earth, fixed and high cardinal. Here we will have the top of the solstice, Scorpio fixed, that will merge with Libra, red air, white water. This Libra is ruled by Venus as well, and at the feet, the new equinox will be Leo, yellow, fire, and Cancer, white, water. This is the Solomon Gateway. That was what all the fires were about in Australia, coming out of this yellow fire. So, and then we will have, as the new Westway, Taurus, black earth, feminine, and again yellow fire, Aries. So at the moment we've got Uranus bang in the middle of fire, high cardinal, Aries, and Uranus is this I can show you better when we're looking at the charts. Here's Venus going backwards now, Venus at home in Taurus. Okay, so let's just watch Mercury. So where's he gone again? Here he is. Okay, so let's just go back, because I think, right, so we're now the 16th, he's going forwards, and the 13th, 15th, 16th, so just today he's at that stationary moment, and he's about to start his journey backwards. There he goes, backwards in Gemini, up, sorry, here we go. And he's losing more and more visibility. So we're going to have the eclipse, right, on the 21st here, and Mercury is only at 7 illuminated. He loses, so not only is he going backwards, but as he gets closer to the sun, he is going to become more and more invisible. So this is all about our communication. This is all about being able to, you know, become the messenger, be the most positive side of Gemini. Gemini, like all the mutable signs, is bipolar, and the two bipolar energies of Gemini are that slandering, gossiping, or on the positive side, you are being the messenger, and you are looking for that information, and you are being logic, and you are, you know, just being that messenger. So we've got the head and the snake. The head has been in Gemini for 18 months. As it was 18 years ago, it takes 18 years to go around the wheel. So for 9/11, the head of the snake was here, right bang on top of Sirius. Here's Sirius here. And here is the unicorn. So this is all about what's going on at Buckingham Palace, changing the unicorn at the moment. This is the whole Narnia. And Sirius is also Sirius, keeper of the four corners. So this is for them, and this eclipse is right on the solar pillar of Merlin, and here is the lunar pillar, and the eclipse is right on the wand of Merlin. And this is Midsummer Night's Dream of Shakespeare, and Uranus, the 7 moons of Uranus, which is in Ra, Aries, all part of the solar pillar. His 7 moons that surround him are the names of the characters in Midsummer Night's Dream of Shakespeare. So this is really the opening of the gates of Narnia. So where's that Mercury gone? Up. Okay, so let's carry on watching Mercury, and then I'm going to show you the charts because I can explain to you better on the charts. 22nd, we've got the Moon conjunct to Mercury. So this is going to be a new black moon on the 21st. And I'll show you on the charts, but there's a lot going on there. We're just watching Mercury. And then on another 6-3. So that's the same, that's the 39, 63, 36. That is the wheel ending, the 360. And then we've got on the 3rd, so we've got another conjunction of the Sun and the Moon, and we will have Mars already in Pisces, and we will have Saturn that has just returned back to Sagittarius, where he's in full. So he came home to Capricorn for the clamp down on the 30th of the 3rd, that's 3-3 crucifixion. We were all clamped down to give us our first taste of Capricorn, and now he's back onto the mutable cross with the South Node, the tail of the snake, Pluto, and Jupiter, who's at home in Sagittarius. So they really, really need to get all their brownie points now, and we need to finish our transmutation because this is the last 6 months before we start to leave this mutable energy of Gemini Sagittarius, and we're going to have the head and the snake, which will be moving on to Scorpio and Taurus. So this is the 3rd, and then on the 11th we've got, really, this is 7-11, which is the same thing as 9-11, because the 7th month was always September in the Hellenistic Egyptian astrology wheel. So the 7th month is originally September. So 7-11, we have got the Moon conjunct to Mars on the tail of Jonah, on the this is the beast of the unconscious collective. So the Moon represents the collective, the people, Mars, anger, and Mars is not happy at all in mutable water. These are emotions and the ego on the beast of the unconscious, and at the same time Venus now going forward on Aldebaran, so she rules Taurus, and we are in that period of the month of a new moon in Gemini. So, and it's at the same time we've still got the Sun in Gemini bang on Sirius, the keeper of the four corners. So this is just such a massive date, and this is what we're going to be looking at. And Saturn back in full in Sagittarius. Okay, let's have a look at the charts. Okay, this is the first chart for these 3 dates to be watching. So 3rd of July, so that's going to be 3-7. Okay, and so we've got the Sun and Mercury in Gemini. So the mutable is Gemini, ruled by Mercury, air, opposite Sagittarius, fire, and Mercury, Virgo, also ruled by Mercury, opposite Pisces. So we're very much on these mutable, bipolar, transmutation, earth, water, fire, and air. So we've got a conjunction with Mercury almost invisible, going retrogrades. We've got Jupiter in Sagittarius, Saturn just still in Capricorn, Pluto still in Sagittarius, all retrograde. We've also got Neptune retrogrades still in Aquarius. So this is our imagination. He is making a big square to the moon in full in Scorpio. The moon is in exaltation in Taurus. So we've got an opposition of Venus on Aldebaran and the moon, which will be not far off Antares. Let's have a look at the thirds. Okay, so we've got the moon right on the tail of Scorpio, making an opposition with Venus on Aldebaran. Okay, and it's on this fake 13th sign, Ophiuchus, on this never-aging war with the snake. And in the news, so we've got the head of the snake. You can see he's just ending 18 months in Gemini, and he will then hit Earth, which is going to be very complementary when we get all the planets going into Capricorn. But for the moment, this is the last big swingers, sultans of swings. You know, they have to really finish off all their fear porn in these last 6 months. So at the same time, we've got in the news North Korea attacking South Korea, because North Korea and South Korea are just representing the head and the tail of the snake. And they also represent where the beginning of this wheel began in Asia, yellow, fire, Sagittarius. So the wheel began with Sagittarius, also ruled by Jupiter. So this could get something quite big, because we've got Uranus in Aries, so yellow fire as well. And at that moment, we've got a semi-sextile, this little green here, with Mars in Pisces. So this is all about setting off the beast of the unconscious collective. People are feeling quite calm now, but the fun has not even begun. We are really going to hit 6 months of this gateway, and you've got to stay centered in your heart. You know, I've just completely stepped off the boat now. So we've got Sun making, that's nice, with the heart right here, and she's now moving forward. So you've got everything going for you with your heart moving forwards. And there's another little semi-sextile here between Uranus and the Sun and Mercury. So, you know, if you're still walking unconscious, this Uranus is those sudden shocks in communication. We've got on this wheel, at this time in Paris, it's going on in the 10th house. So this is how people are being perceived. This is how, you know, you're being perceived in your work. 10th house is normally Capricorn. And we've got here all these guys down in Sagittarius. So this is all mutable, mutable, mutable. And this is really our last chance to get all our, to get stable. But we got to go through all this last purification that we're going through, and this beast has to come up. People have to be faced with their unconscious, and that's basically what's going on. They're just pushing us to face our unconscious, and this cinema will carry on. And those who can't see through it, you know, people who really can't see through all this, you know, I'm sure that I haven't even looked at it, or we've got 15 is always Mercury, because I've studied degrees, and Mercury Gemini is the 3rd house. If you go back around the wheel, it becomes the 15th. So 15 is always talking about. So this will be, this is all set off for the retrograde of Mercury, and It's even got the big M there. Okay, so this is a big date, and the next big date is the 7/11. Have we done 7/11? Let's look at the 7/11 before the 21st. So then we've now got Saturn. Actually, this charts are never absolutely correct. So 7/11, this is massive. Moon and Mars conjunct. Venus conjunct Aldebaran. Sun, we've seen that. And we've got Saturn definitely back in Sagittarius. So this is the whole swing. This is the swastika right, left. This is when we become the eagle, the phoenix again, as Scorpio is going to be coming up, and especially when that tail of the snake moves into Scorpio on 9/9, on the 9th of September, moves back into Scorpio. So this is really, by the time, this is the end of your mutable energy to have risen back to the eagle, the scorpion that becomes an eagle again, and it carries the wisdom of the snake on the pole. You don't want to get trapped here in a never-ending waging war with this snake, with this, communism, world, George Orwell, and Huxley's books, which is what some of us are being led into. So this is the last chance. This is the spin. This is why there's that statue of Dodi and Diana waltzing. It's the waltz. It's the waltzing Matilda. It's the waltz. It's the spin. And that spin is going to be really set off. And 7/11 is the big date. So, yep. Okay, and the last charts. Let's see here, we've got a big square with Venus on all these planets retrograde in Sagittarius. We've got this conjunction of Mars and the Moon right on Chiron. So this is really the collective's wounded. This is your pride. This is everything that you've refused to see. That everything we've been living is just an illusion. And those who can use this Mercury retrograde properly, they can, begin to start to see through the illusion. You've got 6 months to get through. There's a nice little semi-sextile with Venus and Mars and the Moon. So this fixed energy with this mutable, and then Uranus is got this, this is sudden shock. This is Asia, the fire. So there may be definitely some more stuff going on with the North and the South as we end this last little moment of the head of the snake and the tail of the snake, and then we come to the eclipse. You see the eclipse, and eclipse is always when the sun and the moon are on either the north, or when we've got the moon. It can either be the solar or lunar eclipse, and they are always next to the head and the tail. That's what an eclipse is. So this is very dramatic. We've got all this last keeper of the four corners. This is Altair up here, the Phoenix, and Sirius over here. So we've got Mercury, we've got retrograde, the sun and the moon. Still, this is the big black moon, and the whole month will be set off with this energy. And another big opposition with Mercury retrograde, with all these guys retrograde. Wow. And a big look at this big square between Mars that has just hit Pisces, and tail of the snake and the head of the snake. So this is those people who are not centered. You want to be around people. You do not want to hang around people who are not conscious at the moment, because and we've got this little semi-sextile between all these guys and Mars. So this is really bringing up, and Mars is going to be here, as you know, right up until the Great Conjunction at Christmas. And on the 9/9, he goes retrograde as the head and the tail of the snake move. Here they are. They're going to move into Taurus opposite Scorpio, which is so important to them because it's Venus and Mars energy. And this is the female energy that they want to get rid of. They want Libra to take over as Lucifer, Venus here, and they want Mars, Aries, Mars to take over Taurus here, the male axis. So we've got Uranus, right, and he's going to be working with that unhealed collective unconscious right here, and he's working with Mercury. Yeah. So this has been your time to go over your values. Venus is ending an 8-year from the Olympics. Fibonacci flower in the sky. Every time she goes retrograde, she's doing a petal of that flower rose. So this is the last petal, ending where it began, just before the Olympics. Right here, this is ending that period from 9/11 till now, because the head of the snake is going to be moving here in September. This is your last time to use your logic. This is the litmus test. If you haven't worked out from 9/11 till now, we're looking at attacks from the Asian yellow. So this is the north-south. This is the north-south represents the sun and the moon. This is going to be the last passage of the gates of Solomon, because this solstice, the original solstice is Cancer and Capricorn, but the solstice has moved. So and we've got the rising right on Sirius here, and this is what they most want. This is their king. This is incredible. This June the 21st. So you get your logic, your last chance to expand and to find your philosophy, your personal philosophy, your way of seeing the world. And then we're going to start getting fixed. We're going to come into the Taurus. Venus will move forward, and we have got a new 8-year flower of life. It's an eternal flower. They want to flower press us into the flat Fibonacci code. That's why they're always talking about the curve has become flat in COVID, because they're trying to get that angulated 5-pointed star when it's an eternal. Venus is the all-seeing middle pillar, wisdom that comes from the snake in Libra of high cardinal air. So this is the closing of 8 years, the closing of 18 years before all these guys enter home. Saturn comes home to the Twin Peaks, and he begins his journey through this high cardinal Capricorn Earth. And that's when the government wants to clamp down to take over her energy. So it's really the last chance for you to use this transmutational period to, get that Christos oil. And don't worry about not popping your third eye, because just by being centered in the heart is, basically the biggest step you can make is to come out of that, the narcissistic game is just between the swingers. It's just between those who are too much in the mercy against those too much in the severity. It's the cat and mouse. It's the crow and the fox. it's the flattery game. You know, there's no flattery, there's no looking now for recognition, there's just self-acceptance and being able to stand alone and being able to stand for your values. That's what the whole point of Venus and Taurus is. It's finding your worth and your values, and nothing to do with the values that are put onto us. Okay, darlings, that's all I wanted to say, and I love you very much. Bye.